Welcome to Manufacturing Talks with Jim Vinosky. Industry has a million cool stories, and Jim talks to the movers and shakers who are making them happen. Let's dive in.
All right, and welcome back. I'm Jim Vinosky with Manufacturing Talks. We're live from Detroit, Rock City. Yes, we are with the American Gear Manufacturers Association today at their Motion and Power Technology Expo here at Huntington Place. And I'm joined right now by Lori Brown and Cindy Hall. They're both sales managers for IMT Forge in Champaign, Illinois. Welcome.
Hi, we're happy to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Yeah, this is great. So, I got this whole list of potential interviewees from Rebecca AGMA, and I saw that you guys do forging, and I thought they've got to be the first company I have in because it's kind of the earliest step of making gears, right?
We're considered a raw material supplier, so we'll get...
I'm sorry, I don't want to jump into that yet. We'll talk about forging. What I want to do first of all, though, is hear about you two. So, Lori, how did you get into the forging world?
Just accidentally. I was in publishing, and at the time my daughter was in high school, and Clifford-Jacobs is one of the plants within the IMT corporation, and I just was looking for something different, and boy, did I get something different for sure. So I thought manufacturing was all new to me, and it's so exciting. I wish I would have done it when I was younger because there's just so many areas we can touch what is being made. When you make something and you have a part in that, even though I'm in the sales role and I'm not working on the plant floor, I love going down there. Our whole building shakes from our manufacturing process, and it's just really cool to be a part of that. When we're watching TV and I say, we have gears in that gearbox that raises that offshore oil platform up and down. And my husband says, LB, you're so cool. Your husband doesn't say that to you all the time. I got to consider that to be a win.
And you're preaching to the choir. I've been in manufacturing my entire career, and I always call it the crucible of the business world, because you're either making the things that your customers want to buy at a price where you can stay in business, or you're not. And if not, then you're not in business. So, yeah, right there with you.
Yes.
Cindy, how about you? How'd you get into this?
I came from Honeywell and shipped refrigerant gas. And so it was totally different. We did mix the gases and ship them, but we didn't really make anything at my plant. We downpacked, and eventually my plant closed. So I was looking for a job and found the forging industry. And they were speaking words I had never heard in my life. I was like, what are they saying? And the building's shaking. But I love it. I totally love it. Yeah. When you've got parts on the tanks that the warfighters are using and the howitzer can, that's just really cool to me.
Yeah. I did an article about a place called Rank America.
Yes.
We've heard of them before.
They're a customer of ours.
Yeah, from Muskegon.
Yeah.
Very cool place. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I toured their plant and saw their gearboxes going together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hortzman is a sister company of them.
Okay. Yep.
We make suspensions.
Yep. Okay. Okay. So now let's talk about forging, because I'm guessing there are a lot of people out there who don't have any idea what forging is.
So what we'll do is get material from a steel mill, and we do carbon steels, some specialty grades, alloys. We do titanium, Inconel, all different kinds of materials. But we'll get that in a long bar stock. So if you're driving down the road and you see the long, like 20-foot length of bar on the semi, that's probably going to a forge shop of some type. There's only 400 forge shops in all of North America.
Wow.
We do have an industry association, as we all have our own niche and things that we specialize in, but we'll get that bar stock, we'll cut it into what we call billets, smaller sizes, We heat it up to about 2,200 degrees and then put it in our hammer. Our process is closed die, so you're going to get more of a near net shape than maybe some of the other forgers that do block or more simplified shapes. But that for the gear industry, that will be a cost savings to them.
So I'm no expert here, but so when you say closed die, basically you're hammering something that has the near shape of the finished product, and you're making that metal fill that whole space. Whereas an open die is just going to be people banging on something to get it close to the shape.
Right. We do heat it and beat it. That's really what we do. Where a casting will melt that material and pour it into a mold. We heat it up like Play-Doh, put it in that mold, and get it to shape. So a casting can be more near net than a closed die forging, but some applications, a lot of, like this show in particular, a lot of gearing, transmission components is really, I would say 80% of the product we make is some type of gearing component, whether it be a suspension or, something as we were talking about that goes into food service that makes cream for the very important.
You made an excellent distinction there. So forging is that hammering and forcing the metal into a shape versus melting it completely and pouring it into a die. But there are advantages to that hammering, right?
Correct. So it's going to be high strength, high pressure. So oil and gas. We have a local customer in Illinois that we have these tops and bottoms that go over gas lines to repair them. It needs a lot of extra strength as opposed to, other types of repair work in that category. But those are some examples. But we do everything from aerospace to off-highway and rail. It's just a hodgepodge. But you tend to see more, if you will, press shops are going to do more of the consumer type things, smaller parts, higher volume. But we're probably in our shop for our industrial work, 1 to 500 pounds would be our sweet spot. Servicing transmissions going into the track type tractors, large mining trucks, which has been really hot with all the EV going on, mining for that. So we like hearing about Elon. Keep it going, buddy, because there's a lot of mining trucks being sold, and our transmissions are in every single one of them, pretty much.
Excellent. So Cindy, why don't you tell us about the company itself? Now, how long has IMT Forge been around?
Clifford-Jacobs has been around for over 100 years. They started in Urbana,
which is right next door to Champaign.
Yep. The shop caught on fire. They relocated, and then World War II happened. And so there was only 2 guys working at the plant at the time, and they were putting the parts in a wheelbarrow and wheeling them over to the train to load them up for the howitzer cannon, which was very instrumental in World War II. And we've been doing defense parts ever since.
And I think it just progressed from there. So, but we're located in Champaign, Illinois, which is not a blue-collar town. It's really our largest employer is the University of Illinois. So ILL. Got a big game against Wisconsin this Saturday.
Oh, boy.
We host tailgates for the Big Ten home games. We got a lot of customers and suppliers, some here at this show going to be attending this weekend. So I'm not going to tell you we're as competitive as some of the Michigan teams, but we are sure really great fans, and Clifford-Jacobs knows how to throw on a tailgate. We've been doing it probably about 30 years.
Awesome. Now, help me understand, there's IMT Forge and Clifford-Jacobs. So how do those two play together?
So IMT Corporation is based out of Ontario, and they have a lot of subsidiaries under their belt. They have stand-ins in Western Canada, which does a lot of axle components, and then they have a whole defense business unit, which is really hot right now. They've got some big awards they've won, and they have machining and then heat treating underneath that, as well as we have another forge shop that would be our sister shop in Port Colborne, Ontario. So when we get inquiries in, we try to look at it and see what is the best fit for that particular project. and try to help meet the needs of all of our customers and prospects. It can be a little daunting, especially as we have younger people coming into manufacturing and everybody's so busy. Companies don't send out the procurement or sourcing team as much as they did back, even 20 years ago to say, what am I buying?
Yeah.
So a lot of times we can mentor and help our customers into pointing them in the right direction, especially since Ford shops are also different, and try to help them be a resource as opposed to just, oh, we can't help you here.
Yep.
But we may say try Scott Forge or a sister shop, PC Forge can certainly help with that.
Yep, got it. Okay, so you're here at the show.
Yeah.
Came to Detroit all the way from Champaign, Illinois.
Yes.
What are the big highlights for you here? What are your aims here at the
For
Motion and
us,
Power Tech
we
Expo?
really have a lot of customers that are at the show. We have some new prospects. I will say that aerospace is definitely a strategic focus for us, and defense work. And back in 2019, we had a new OEM customer we met at this show that had a sourcing team come out. And some of those projects take a long time to really get kicked off to production levels.
Yep.
But I will say that during COVID, when things softened up because of our diversity, our military helicopter work, kept us going and kept things busy for us and shop for us. So that was awesome.
Yep.
So,
anything she missed?
Oh no, she covers everything very well.
We have a lot of suppliers that attend too,
yeah.
so they're always fun to network with.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Now, forging, as you said, is an old technology.
Yes.
Are there new things, new processes, new expectations? Obviously, the industry is changing. How is that affecting your business?
I think people are really shocked when they come into a shop tour at our place, because unlike the people that do high volume automotive press work, that is more easily automated than probably our average setup is going to be 20 pieces for an aerospace job, or 200 pieces for industrial manufacturing job. So it's very low volume, and we're constantly doing, just to set up those jobs, they're going to be 2 to 3 hours, and then maybe the forge run is an hour or two, and then we're on to the next job. So it's a little different, but definitely looking at ways we can automate is going to be something, I think, even within looking at where are we having quality issues, where are we having downtime. So there are some systems that our leadership is looking at implementing that it just help the communication improve, which is really important.
When we talked, Matt Croson was on before you, and we talked quite a bit about EVs. Are you seeing that business, and is that changing things for you?
We're right by Rivian. It's 30 minutes from us. So really, we don't do that high volume work that they're doing. But again, because of the products they use to develop the EV market, it's helping with the mining industry, selling more mining trucks, as well as, consumables that go into that equipment. So that has been really hot the last several years, and I anticipate it to continue.
That's very interesting. It's something you don't think about as everyone's making these new things, and there's this knock-on effect. And
exactly, right.
EVs take 6 times the minerals that an internal combustion car takes. So you said a lot more mining.
Yes,
so a lot more business for you.
Yes, I'm like, yay, EV. Some people call me a tree hugger, but I'm not. I'm a heavy metal girl.
Yes. Yep. Well, there's nothing wrong with progress, right?
Yes, that's right.
Opens up new business too. That's
right.
Double benefit.
That's right.
Good deal. As you look out to the future for your business, then are there big things you see coming down the pike that you haven't started on? Other things that you're keeping your eye on for now but haven't gotten into?
Yeah, I think power gen and just working with more, pushing the envelope on materials as new materials come out in the marketplace, and just doing that R&D and being able to service the customer's needs. Because I definitely think we're seeing new materials come out on the helicopter side. So some forgers are reluctant to get on board with that. So, we're talking about material that's $50, $60 a pound. So it's high risk, but those are things that we definitely want to, take that challenge on.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think, we have a really young crew. I would say that we're definitely the old ladies in the shop.
No.
So I like to say I'm the forge mom. We work a lot with our engineers and try to mentor them and guide them. We have some really bright guys and girls that are really bringing some fresh ideas, but especially on the shop floor, that is definitely a challenge for us, being in a college town where there's a lot of white collar jobs. I think some of the young people we're getting in that are doing really well, it's just we can't go out and recruit a hammerman. It's kind of on job learning. And so we really need that next generation to come in and be open-minded to working on the plant floor. It's a dirty job, but it's so rewarding, and it's just such a camaraderie down on the plant floor. Those guys really, our hats off to them. It's a volatile, and it's like going into the depths of hell, quite honestly. But there's just so much reward supporting the warfighter and working on a lot of the projects. We have a lot of really large customers right in our backyard that we take care of, and seeing that equipment as you're driving down the road is really kind of a win. I think every day when we go to work, it's an important job we do. So we definitely want to work on keeping those guys coming to working in the plant.
Yep. So there's a lot of talk in industry about it's not the dirty and dangerous jobs that it was before, but there are still those areas like yours where it's hot and it's noisy and dirty. Are there? I guess I have a two-pronged question. The first part of it is: are there difficulties that are particular to that, as far as recruiting and getting people in, just because that appearance and
Yes, we have to do a shop tour, just so they see what they're getting into, because it might. It's shocking, and then it's really important that if they're more of a team-oriented person, they're really going to like it, because it's kind of like a basketball team. The way they run those hammers, they have a little lingo that they use, there's groups, that work together better, individuals, but it is very team-oriented. You've got your hammerman running the show, and then they're all working collectively. And really our large hammer work, that's our sweet spot. Our crews are anywhere from 7 to 12 guys, depending on the job. So they have to work like a really fluid unit, which they do a great job. And I think that young people that, like my daughter was an athlete, she's a great basketball player, horrible at golf. So we don't really need any golfers at the Forge shop, but those team players, football, basketball, those kind of guys work great. A lot of former military. We're in a big farm country where we're at, south of Chicago, a couple hours in the middle of a cornfield. We got lots of corn. And need for forge guys.
Here's a total aside. I was stranded in Ashcombe, Illinois. You know where that is?
Yes.
I was stranded there back in the early 80s in a blizzard.
Yes.
And stayed in the Ashcombe Coliseum for 2 nights.
Wow.
And the Champaign, the basketball team, was there the first night with us. Wow. Yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about as far as farm country.
Yes.
Drove past the grain elevators on my way into Ashcombe.
Yes.
So the other side of my question then, are there technologies now that are allowing you to make the job more appealing, more attractive?
There are some apparatus that we're using, more lifting devices, things like that, to reduce strains and strains. That's been a real big focus of ours the last few years. And then there's more things to look at being implemented, but it is definitely very labor intensive and hard work.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the backbone of industry.
That's
too,
right.
Though,
Right. It's definitely at the start of making these very nice, beautiful gears.
So you two are here not just as a company, but you're here as yourselves, and you have to have your own things you want to see and do at the show. So start with you, Lori. What are you
The
looking
main
to do?
thing I love seeing our customers,
Yeah.
and I've got a lot of relationships over the
sure.
years
Sales
that I've
manager.
developed, and whether it's our suppliers or customers, I love helping people. And sometimes we're just networking on, how can we reduce lead times, and how can maybe we're going to take the rough turning off you so you can focus on your gear cutting. We've got a lot of gear experts here, and those are things we can help with. So I like providing those solutions, and that's really, I'm all in. We're putting in some long hours, but it's just all about being here with our customers and taking care of them. So
nice to see them all in one spot.
Yes.
Where you don't have to go individually to see them. So.
And I really love Detroit. I think sometimes it gets a bad rap, but I think the downtown, over the years, they've done some amazing job. It's very clean.
Restaurants.
Yeah,
it's
you drive
awesome.
up to Huntington Place this morning. It's just all lit up like Broadway. Right. It's amazing.
Yes.
Good. We would not be doing our due diligence here if we did not, as I mentioned to Matt, I'll be using this all day, shift gears. Yes. He assured me I did not come up with that phrase here. But, you and I traded some notes about music, right?
Yes.
So your husband was off at a show?
Yeah, he went to the big Power Trip concert. We are both 52. I did not want to have any part of that. So he got to see 6 bands, 3 days. It's at the venue where they have Coachella.
Yes.
So I don't even know how much his ticket cost. We got to see Metallica, Judas Priest, which he told me the lead singer of Judas Priest doesn't look the same as he did back in the 80s.
No, he does not.
So
he sounds the same though.
Yes.
Rob Halford.
Yes. Whereas Axl Rose looks pretty good, but his voice quality isn't there.
I thought Axl got big.
No, he lost a lot of weight.
Oh, did he really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
I've learned something here today. Cool.
So he was happy with his looks, but kind of losing his voice a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure they were rocking it hard doing their tour,
and awesome.
It was just fantastic. I guess that was probably one of his favorite. He loved the whole thing, but that's not for me. I'm a grandma, so I'm gonna work on my crochet.
Yeah. Well, I'm older than you, so I still listen to my heavy metal. In fact, I've gotten to where every Friday on the LinkedIn Manufacturing Talks page, I do what I call manufacturing metal. And I have a link to a YouTube video of some heavy metal song, and then I tie that to the episode that we had that week.
Cool.
And so I've already done Judas Priest, but try to think about. I'll look at who was in that show. We'll do something this Friday from the show. But then there's also something to be more important. You're from Champaign, Illinois, which is also the home of another, not just a heavy metal guy, but one of the bands I loved growing up was REO Speedwagon.
Yes, well loved.
And Cindy, I understand you are married to one of the band.
I am not, but the
Cindy Hall.
Yeah, the whole plant at Honeywell thought that I was married to Bruce Hall, the bassist, because I lived in Champaign. Honeywell was not in Champaign, and I drove a little BMW convertible, and they thought, oh, she must be married to that rock star. And unbeknownst to me, the whole plant thought that I was married to him.
Hilarious.
And I was just talking to somebody one day, and he said, oh, are you going to your husband's concert? I'm like, what are you talking about? So, yeah, that was pretty
But those guys started, the University of Illinois is one of the top engineering schools in the world. And so the founder of the band was an engineer. I think he's a double E. Neil Daughtry.
Neil Dowdy?
Dowdy,
Okay.
yes. Yes, so he, I think it was a double E. Electrical.
Okay. Well, he's a keyboard player, right?
I think so. I'm not saying I'm an expert on the REO Speedwagon history, but
they come to town a lot.
Do they?
Play at the Virginia Theater, and a little known fact: there's a girl in town that plays under the name Sarah Sides. And she is Bruce Hall's daughter.
Ah, okay.
And so she opened up for him.
Oh, very cool.
So if
Yep.
you get a chance to see Sarah Sides, she's pretty good.
All right.
People that go to school at U of I are just really, they always come back to, I think that's always companies in Champaign County say, how can we keep those students here working? And, you know, some are from Chicagoland or
Yep.
big metro areas, but they do love to come back and visit. And so it's a nice place to go to college for sure.
Yeah.
But I like how once they get big and famous, they come. Tom Hanks
Yeah.
also
Ah,
has been in town.
He's
Like,
going to buy Jarley's.
yeah, the Jarlene's ice cream. So that was kind of a big deal. So we've had some famous ones come through, but
all right. Anything that we haven't talked about with your business?
Yes. We have socks made for our customers with little gears on them, and I'd like to give
look
you
at
a
that.
pair.
That is so cool. Clifford-Jacobs Forging. Got the gears on the socks. I will be wearing those proudly very soon. I'll have to show those off. Thank you.
Love
That
them.
is awesome.
They just love them.
Yes. Cool. Well, Cindy Hall and Lori Brown, thank you for being here.
yeah,
on
thanks for having us.
Manufacturing
This was
Talks
so
today.
much fun, and I know you're going to talk to some amazing people. And if they need amazing forgers, just send them to our booth.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll have to do that. Actually have maybe Fabian Wolf next. I know he was very busy, so I might have some free time. I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, folks. So I'm here all day. I've got a whole big long list of the very good people Lori mentioned, and so we're going to sign off here for now. But I'll be back maybe in 15 minutes, maybe in 45 minutes to an hour. We'll see how things pan out. But we will be here live again from the American Gear Manufacturers Association Motion and Power Technology Expo at Huntington Place in Detroit. Thank you. Tune in soon.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Manufacturing Talks with Jim Vanoski. Watch for new episodes dropping every Tuesday. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.